Driving ROI from your marketing efforts. Marketing ROI is an interesting area, and you get very different perspective from marketeers in different industries. Marketing-led companies, typically CPGs for instance, can tell you very eloquently on how marketing drives the business. But if you ask product-driven companies like cars or financial solutions for instance, then they would tell you that the product is the real hero and marketing can't make a donkey perform like a horse. My view as an insights professional helping marketers in different areas is based on a very simple idiom. You can't impact what you can't measure. So for marketing to drive the ROI, it's first very important to zero in on what are we driving. Is marketing driving upper funnel metrics like awareness, consideration, or is it driving lower funnel metrics like conversions and sales? Or are they doing both? The next thing then is to clearly identify activities that are driving these different metrics. For example, is advertising only driving awareness and consideration? In which case, advertising needs to be held accountable only for that and not necessarily for driving leads. Similarly, are BTL campaigns driving conversions at the lower funnel? Then how effective are they? Or what is the role of having multiple branches, for example, for a bank at convenient locations? Are they meant to be driving traffic or conversions or both? Opening a branch, therefore, in my view, is as much a marketing activity as it is an operational activity. Identifying the role of each marketing activity in the consumer journey, therefore, is the critical first step. Setting up measurements for performance is then the next step, which becomes relatively simpler and relatively easier if the first step is taken well. In my experience, again, I've seen some businesses looking at ROI as the incremental growth that the business expects to get as a result of investments and insights, which leads to better marketing. So let's say 2% growth or a 5% incremental growth if X percentage of the revenues is invested. That's good. That's a good and a broad way of looking at the ROI, as long as insights are well embedded into the business decision making. Some other businesses take an increase in customer leads by, let's say, 25% as targets based on investment in insights and marketing, while some others take increase in brand or ad awareness by a certain percentage as a result of investing in insights and advertising. So ROI needs to be defined in the context in which insights are used and not without those. Now, things would of course never be so simple in real life because different activities do drive multiple things. If the marketing activities, for example, are coherent, then they would have halo effect on each other. But equally, if they're not coherent, then they can neutralize each other and nullify each other completely. And that's where analytics, in my view, plays a very, very useful role. But taking the metrics being measured and relating them with the output becomes crucial. Analytics can give clear insights on what is being driven by different activities in isolation and in combination with other activities, the optimum levels of each activity for maximum impact, and sensitivities or elasticities of those activities. Analytics can also be used for starting with the required end results and working backwards to estimate what levels of different activities would lead to the end result that we want, and therefore forecasting the end results. If the spends at the levels of activities are known, then that becomes a very, very, very useful way of using analytics. So in the end, marketing is an art and requires ingenuity. But for it not to remain just the domain of few madmen and to get real scalability consistently, it needs science behind it. It needs science to work with it. And that's when you get the best ROI.